to Notre Dame football, presented by Discover. A brisk November evening, rain falling here in South Bend, and Notre Dame Stadium is ready for an Irish team riding a 6-game winning streak, taking on a Navy squad from the American, looking to continue to make a push towards the college football playoff. Both teams feel like they'll be playing some meaningful postseason football. Marcus Freeman's team has reached its stride once again in the second half of the season for the second consecutive year. And with a packed house here at Notre Dame Stadium, Marcus and the Irish appear ready and primed to put themselves right back in that same position as they did last season after the early season loss to Northern Illinois. Run the table, make the college football playoff, number 10 in the initial CFP rankings this week, and Freeman's team is playing with extreme confidence. Another night game here in South Bend. His players love it, his coaching staff loves it, the fans revved up for it. And you can see the elite motivator. Freeman has his guys ready week in and week out. Here come the Irish. Young C.J. Carr continues to lead this offense. This defense clicking over the last month of the season. And here come the midshipmen. Brian Newberry has his team at 7-1. It's 6-2 for Marcus Freeman's team, who's with Catherine Tappan.
Coach, there are a lot of eyes on this program as the college football playoff looms. What are the keys in the month of November to getting the job done?
This moment. That's it. That's it. Like, the rest of that stuff is so people can talk about it like we're doing now. You know, great things are accomplished from great moments. That's what I just told our team. Like, if we want to win this game, we're going to have great moments like on the first play, and that's what we're focused on right now.
Navy plays a unique style on offense, but their star quarterback, Blake Horvath, a late scratch in this game with an upper body injury. How does that change your game plan?
It won't change it. Their scheme is a challenge, and Horvath is a great player. I got a lot of respect for him, but their scheme presents a huge challenge for our defense. And so no matter who's at quarterback, we're going to have to make sure our eyes are in the right place, we're playing forward, and we keep them where they're supposed to be.
Coach, thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Noah?
All right, KT, so you heard from Catherine, No Eagle, Todd Blackledge. We'll also have TM, that's Terry McCauley, our rules analyst tonight. Notre Dame, similar situation what we saw last year. It's third straight week of a rivalry game. They beat USC, they beat Boston College. Here they are with Navy, their most played opponent ever. And they were ranked 10th in the initial CFP ranking. So the committee has liked what they've seen so far. Now you got to finish the job.
Yeah, I think the committee has seen the same thing that we've seen. This is our third time covering them. This is a team that is ascending. Offensively, their young quarterback, C.J. Carr, just gets better each time out. And I think this offense is more dynamic, more explosive than the one that played for a national championship last year. And then defensively, that's been the biggest difference in this team. Little slow start out of the gate with Chris Ash, but over the last 4 or 5 weeks, they've been outstanding, particularly against the run. They'll have their hands full tonight against the #1 rushing team in the country.
We just heard Catherine bring it up with Marcus Freeman. The big news on the Navy side, we heard about an hour before kickoff, Blake Horvath, their star quarterback, not going to play tonight with an upper body injury that he sustained at the end of the North Texas game last week. The numbers speak for themselves. This is one of the most unique and dynamic players at the quarterback position in all of college football. He led them to a 7-0 start. First loss last week. It's just going to look a little bit different without him out there under center. So what does Navy have to do to overcome not having their engine on the offensive side?
You know, I guess if anybody understands the concept of next man up, it would be a Service Academy team, right? So, I mean, Braxton Woodson is the next man up for Navy. And no matter who is playing quarterback, the job was still going to be the same against this Notre Dame defense. Can't turn the ball over like they did last year when they had 6 turnovers, and you got to stay ahead of schedule. If they can do that and not have negative plays, this offense can be very difficult to slow down.
So we get rolling here, and today's coin toss features an official U.S. Marine Corps 250th anniversary commemorative coin, celebrating 250 years of service, honor, courage, sacrifice, and the Marine Corps' unwavering commitment to our nation. It was Navy who won the toss and elected to receive. So without Blake Horvath, they are going to put their less experienced quarterback out there first and see what Braxton Woodson can do here on the road. And Brian Newberry is going to hope that the young man, junior from Almonte Springs, Florida, can come out here and maybe turn some heads.
Well, again, Brian Newberry's defense is going to have a difficult challenge all night against Notre Dame's offense, and I think their best defense will be their offense. If their offense can hold the ball and have long drives and stay ahead of schedule, that will be the best kind of defense that they can play in this football game.
The rain's coming down. The vibes are high. And Notre Dame riding a 6-game winning streak after the 2 losses by a combined 4 points to start the season. Will trot out their new starting kicker here tonight. Eric Schmidt will be handling field goals and extra points at least to start this game. He'll kick it deep to Isaiah Bryant for the midshipmen. It is the 98th meeting between Notre Dame and Navy, and we are underway from Notre Dame Stadium. Braxton Woodson, who has had a couple of lengthy touchdown runs this year. He has run this offense before, not necessarily as experienced in terms of his Navy experience as Blake Horvath, but he's going to have a chance to really show out tonight.
This will be his 3rd start in his career. He started 1 game last year when Horvath was injured against East Carolina, and he started 1 game in 2023, but a great opportunity for the young man tonight.
Good look at Horvath. Came into this one 5th in the country in rushing yards. 1 spot ahead of Jeremiyah Love on a 926-yard clip this season. He had 13 rushing touchdowns through the first 8 games. So we'll see what Woodson can do in relief. He's got a number of weapons around him, including Alex Teska, who initially started in the backfield with him. Already some shifts, Chapman included in it. And the first play is a handoff for Teska, who gets wrapped up after a gain of 3 yards on the first play of the game for this Navy offense.
When you take a look, I mean, Eli Heidenreich is the next best player besides Horvath. They've got to find ways to get him the football. Very dynamic player, lines up in a lot of different spots. Offensively, Malcolm Johnson, a right tackle, is a freshman. And that is very rare. It hasn't been since 1997 that a freshman started on the offensive line for this Navy offense.
Look out for number 22. That is the dangerous ball carrier. This time the keeper for the quarterback, and Woodson's going to have the first down. So 2 carries by this Navy offense. The leading rushing offense in all of college football picks up 9 yards on the second play.
Well, first of all, they took the tackle and moved over here. So it's an unbalanced line. Weak. They fake to the fullback. That's the first read. And a nice first carry of the ball game for Braxton Woodson. Good job keeping it high and tight, protecting the football after picking up the first down.
Only attempted 8 passes this year. He had 180 rushing yards against VMI week 1 on just 7 carries. 2 of his touchdowns have been for 65+ yards. Another one for Teska. This time he's got nowhere to go. Runs into Jaiden Ausberry as the first defender there for the Notre Dame defense.
As Notre Dame defense up front now, they've got a couple of defensive tackles that are not able to play tonight. Jason Onye is one of the key guys there, number 47. He's the veteran, kind of leader up there. And then the good news for Notre Dame, all of their linebackers had experience against this offense a year ago. Drake Bowen, the main communicator. In the back end, Tay Johnson, a freshman safety, has had a wonderful year, but this is his first year playing against this option offense. Marcus Freeman talked about eye discipline. We'll see how the young freshman does.
Chapman was the motion man, and again, it's going to be Woodson who will keep it and run into a wall, led by Bowen, 3 yards on the ground.
Yeah, really nice read by Drake Bowen. These linebackers are going to play close to the line of scrimmage. You're going to play downhill. I mean, Navy throws the ball more than they used to. They throw it more than Army, but it still is a run-first team. Very good on 3rd down, even 3rd and 7. They've been very effective, but that was, of course, with Blake Horvath.
Second year with offensive coordinator Drew Cronick, who has found explosives with this offense. But a 3rd and 7, they've been good in these situations this year, not necessarily against this defense, and they show why right away. The pitch to Reynolds gets blown up by a Don Schuler, and Notre Dame gets the first stop of the game.
Yeah, it's assignment football, right? Here's Schuler. He's got the pitch. He's got the quarterback, so they've got it all covered. They're running into the short side of the field. Quarterback covered, pitch covered. And they come up well short of the first down. eye discipline, assignment discipline, and then good tackling on the perimeter.
So Jacob Carlson will come in to boot it away, and Jordan Faison, of course, one of the great missed tackle force guys across the country, especially at the wide receiver spot. We'll see if he can make something happen early in this first quarter. They bring the house, but they do get that punt off cleanly, and Faison will let it bounce over his head. It dies at the 6-yard line, and Navy with a perfect coverage on their first punt of the game. 52 yards to flip the field, and a long field to go for C.J. Carr next. Join head coach Marcus Freeman and the Notre Dame Fighting Irish as they chase glory on and off the field in the docuseries Here Come the Irish, back for season 2, December 8th, only on Peacock, the linebacker lounge here in South Bend. A great hangout spot as we get set for the first offensive possession for the Irish. It'll start from their own 6-yard line, and Jeremiyah Love, let's not forget, last week busted the game open against BC with a touchdown from this exact spot. They'll have it on first down, and this one's going to barely get back to the line of scrimmage, if that, as he gets taken down about a half-yard behind it. C.J. Carr, another start, continues his excellent freshman campaign.
Yeah, he's played very well, and they just keep putting more on his plate each week. And Mike Denbrock said, you know, I'm keep waiting for him to push back a little bit and say that's enough. Hasn't happened. He's just taking in everything and just continues to blossom and play extremely well. And again, his ability to throw the ball down the field, his deep ball accuracy is outstanding.
Last time on this field against USC, Jeremiyah Love had 228 rushing yards, but in 2 carries, he gets 0.
Yeah, and what we're seeing out of Navy, and Mike Denbrock expected this, same kind of philosophy that we saw from BC last week. A lot of pressure around the line of scrimmage. They're going to bring blitzes and pressure and take their chances with man coverage and try to stop the run first, do the best job they can. And really, for 3.5 quarters, BC did an excellent job on stopping the running game until a 94-yard touchdown run by Jeremiyah Love kind of broke the game open.
Quickly, it's a 3rd down and 10 for this Notre Dame offense. Ty Washington, the motion man. Still no Jaiden Greathouse, but Will Pauling has really stepped up over the last month of the season. It's Carr, it's Love, wide open with room to run across the 30, and Jeremiyah Love converts on a 3rd and 10 for a big gain of 24 yards.
Well, this is a beautiful call by Mike Denbrock, because watch, they're going to blitz this linebacker, and they're going to release Jeremiyah Love instead of keeping him in to pick up the blitz, and nobody's there to cover him. Anticipating that inside pressure, they release the back, and it's a big play on a short throw for Jeremiyah Love.
See what they've done explosive play-wise. That's happened both on the ground and in the air, but the explosive plays in the air have been the difference from last offensive season to this offensive season. And now they're going to go for it. It's Carr. It's caught. Malachi Fields to the 15. The big-bodied receiver gains 52.
Again, if you're going to crowd the line of scrimmage and play man-zero coverage with no safety help, they're going to throw the ball over top of your head. He's very confident, C.J. Carr is. Malachi Fields, the big receiver, good contested catch guy. But you see the deep ball accuracy right out of the gate for C.J. Carr.
He was matched up with Oniha, who is arguably their best cover guy, the Navy defense. So back-to-back passes, one for officially 27 yards, one for 52. Now it's back to the ground, and it's Jeremiyah Love makes a cut to make it 1st and goal.
This time Navy kind of backs out. They've got 2 safety looks, and so the numbers say run it. And again, Jeremiyah Love, one of the best players in college football. Excellent block in there by the center, Joe Otting, making his 3rd start. Jeremiyah Love coming into the game 106 yards away from another 1,000-yard season. Also very good as a receiver out of the backfield, as we've already seen. This offense is very dynamic and very diverse. Excellent run-pass balance.
Love has 11 rushing touchdowns already on the season. Looking for 12. Hesitation. Love is going to be just short. It'll be 2nd and goal. On the 3 previous plays after the 2 initial stuffs, 3 straight explosive plays. To your point, 2 through the air and 1 on the ground for this Notre Dame offense.
Yeah, they are a different kind of team than they were a year ago because of that guy and his ability to throw over the top of the defense. If you get too concerned with the run game, he'll beat you through the air.
Matt Jeffrey put in motion. It's Love, and he keeps fighting for the touchdown. Notre Dame marches right down the field and takes the early lead.
Well, he did a nice job of just showing some strength because Navy shot a guy into the backfield. Watch, this guy's going to get into the backfield and make a hit on Jeremiyah Love. He's unblocked. He gets a hit. But Jeremiyah Love just keeps the legs moving and fights his way into the end zone.
Well, now all the eyes are going to be on this operation. The extra point had 2 missed extra points last week alone, 4 on the season, which is the most in FBS, and that doesn't even include the botched snap against Texas A&M that resulted in a missed opportunity. Eric Schmidt is going to have the opportunities, 12 of 13 on PATs this year. Noah Burnett, they still feel like isn't 100% healthy, and so they've decided to ride with a freshman from Milwaukee.
Yeah, Burnett's not even in uniform tonight, in street clothes.
Anticipation at Notre Dame Stadium. Well-handled low snap as Buckner got it down, and then Schmidt curved it in. Marcus Freeman. No, but it was effective when it was all said and done to make it 7-0. Perfect delivery from Carr to Fields. Eventually sets up Jeremiyah Love for his 12th touchdown on the ground this season, and Notre Dame has a 7-0 lead. His son, a senior safety captain, going to be a wrestler next year, continuing his career in college. And Marcus did say he had a lot more anxiety watching him wrestle than he ever did on the football field.
Yeah, that's kind of a helpless feeling as a parent watching your son on a wrestling mat. Mano a mano, nowhere to hide, no teammates.
Schmidt will boot it into the end zone for a touchback. Take a look at our Hyundai players on the rise, and Blake Horvath not available in this game. These 2 guys already studs, and it feels like the importance has gone even further up.
Yeah, they're going to have to step up their game. Cheska, kind of the fullback. He's kind of the B-back guy in this offense, a very durable, reliable guy. Heidenreich is the kind of the wild card. He can line up in a lot of different places. He's very dynamic. The coaches at Navy feel like he could play in a lot of places across the country and think he's got an NFL future as well.
His numbers have been eye-popping at times. 575 yards, 4 touchdowns for Heidenreich. And this one's going to go right up the middle, and Woodson will plunge forward for 7 yards.
This is the difference in the Navy offense this year. It's not just under the center triple option. There's a lot more shotgun that Drew Cronick has put into the offense. And that's kind of a typical quarterback run out of the shotgun that you see a lot of teams run. You've got the jet sweep fake, and it's a read for the quarterback. Either hand it on the jet sweep or follow the pulling guard, and it's kind of a power run for the quarterback.
And without Horvath, they're going to go a little bit deeper in the depth chart. You see Charles Robinson out there, potential to see Vic Listorti as well, as Woodson can't get there. Going to be a yard shy, set up 3rd and short. And that felt like the biggest key as well for this Navy offense, is getting into 3rd and very manageable situations here tonight.
Yeah, they want to live here because things do, if they open up, they're not going to stay open fast. This linebacking core for Notre Dame, so athletic and so fast. And they can rotate them in a lot of different ways.
Navy turned it over 6 times last year against Notre Dame as Woodson gets pushed forward for the 1st down. Robinson came back from behind and gave him that extra shove.
Now Woodson is bigger than Horvath. I mean, this is a nice job with the tush push here, getting the 1st down, good push up front, but he's 6'3", 215. He's a bigger bodied quarterback than Blake Horvath. We've already seen his running ability. He's going to have to hit a few throws in this game as well, but
think about those 6 turnovers last year in the matchup at MetLife Stadium between these 2 teams. Notre Dame ran away with it because they just had possession so often. As Woodson fakes the pitch to the outside, he just slipped. He had room to work and would have easily gotten that 1st down the sideline. Instead, it's held to just 8.
Beautiful job by the backside tackle, Sean Crowley, number 73, getting out in front. He got the block on Schuler, and if he stays on his feet, that's probably a 30 or 40-yard run. Watch, there's a block on Schuler by Crowley, and he just can't keep his feet.
Woodson knew it.
But they're staying ahead of the change, and again, that is what's so critical. You can't have negative plays that set you back and put you in difficult third down situations.
Chapman was the motion man, and we've got our first penalty of the day. Kevin Randall is our referee.
False start, offense, number 68, 5-yard penalty, second down.
And that is like a negative play for this offense, right? A false start penalty on the left guard, kind of their leader. Ben Purvis up there is the guilty party.
Ever so slight.
Yeah.
But just enough.
They had 8 penalties for 55 yards in their loss to North Texas a week ago, and that's kind of an uncharacteristically high number, along with 3 turnovers in that game as well.
9 plays, all on the ground. It'll continue here. Woodson gets a block from Teska. He's got the first down on the outside.
Yeah, Teska does a beautiful job. Watch him come out of the backfield. I think this was a throw because Teska's actually looking back as he releases out. Watch him look back like he's going to get a pass. And when he sees Woodson run, he turns and finds a nice block and allows his quarterback to get to the perimeter. Heads up play by Teska.
So keeps this drive rolling now. 7 rushes already for Woodson, and he's got all 5 on this drive. They eat up plenty of clock. Goes back to the idea that their best defense is this offense. And the first pass of the day, Woodson decides to tuck it instead, make a couple of miss, get to the outside across the 45. It's a 10-yard rush. What a block by Chapman to clear the way. And again, positive momentum from Woodson.
And a smart block by Chapman. Watch number 24. He doesn't decleat the man. He knows if he hits him too hard, it would be a penalty. He just kind of gets in his way. He doesn't extend his arms. He doesn't really try to knock him down. Nifty running by Woodson. And a good job avoiding the personal foul on a blindside block by Chapman.
It almost looked like one of those where you try to annoy your sibling by just getting in their way.
Yeah.
As Woodson will pick up 2 more here. Devontae Smith will make that tackle. But heads up and smart, as you said. Anytime you ask anybody about Navy and how they play, discipline is probably the first word you hear, which makes a lot of sense. Go to the Naval Academy. Everything you do outside the classroom and outside of the football field prepares you for battles. And Brian Newberry said it's the best job in the country because you don't have any really bad apples. The worst guy you have on this roster, you'll have 30 plus of them on other rosters around the country. 2nd down and 8 from the 38. Clock bleeding, under 3 minutes already in this first quarter. This time, keep it, and Woodson gets leveled.
Yeah, good discipline by the Notre Dame defense. They tried to get the option out. Heidenreich was the pitch man, but they had him covered. Watch as they get Heidenreich out here as the pitch man. That's who they want to get the football to, but he's defended. Jaiden Ausberry, number 4, was responsible for the pitch. They work inside out to get the quarterback, and again, the speed and the closing ability of this Notre Dame defense brings up 3rd down and 7.
First time for Tay Johnson playing against this triple option look. And Marcus Freeman said, you can be as much of a freak as he is, your eyes got to be right. There's the first official attempt. It was behind the intended target of Heidenreich with tight coverage from Devontae Smith, 4th down.
Yeah, I thought Devontae Smith might have gotten there a little bit early. They're running the slant. Now, kind of right at the same time. Devontae Smith is a starting nickel, but because of his experience and the injury to Christian Gray, he's going to play more corner tonight as well. Nice job in man coverage on that play. Missed a few games earlier in the season. A veteran guy who transferred from Alabama. Good to have him back in that defensive lineup.
Last one he downed did Carlson at the 6-yard line, and a flag now down with 1:55 to play in this opening quarter.
False start, kicking team, number 22, 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
Second penalty on this drive against this Navy side. Brian Newberry had talked about the 7-0 start was obviously great to keep winning, but felt like there were a lot of holes that they didn't quite clean up enough. They go to North Texas last week. Blake Horvath in that game. There was a couple of interceptions. They have 3 turnovers overall. Come away with their first loss of the season in a game they felt like they absolutely could have won. Carlson, second kick. Last one was his 4th that he downed inside the 10 this year. This one, just barely gets into the end zone. 42-yard punt, and it'll get it to the 20 for this Notre Dame offense in their second look tonight. Well, Todd, before the game, you used the words ascending team, and a big reason for that is the ascending passing game for Notre Dame. You see, 2024, the explosive passes, all of them better so far through half the amount of games here in 2025, and it's because C.J. Carr has just gotten better with each week, more confident with each week, nearly 15 yards per completion, the highest by a Notre Dame quarterback since 1999 with at least 50 pass attempts. That's 4th in the FBS, and we saw it in that first drive. Backed up, 3rd and long, deep in their own territory, finds Jeremiyah Love over the middle, then the deep ball to Malachi Fields to eventually set up the Love touchdown. They'll go to the air for the first play here. It's a catch by Will Pauling, who gets sandwiched after a gain of 2.
Again, that's why this Notre Dame offense, I think, is different and more dangerous than the one they had last year with Riley Leonard. As good as he was after transferring over for Duke, this offense right now has the ability to hurt you throwing the football vertically down the field. And then you still have to deal with Jeremiyah Love. So it's kind of pick your poison. What do you want to try to stop?
Well, let's try to stop Love here, and they do just enough. He barely gets to the 25-yard line and set up 3rd down and 5.
Against this running game, the key guy is going to be that nose tackle, Landon Robinson, number 96, a phenomenal athlete, 6 foot tall, about 285 pounds, built very low to the ground, explosive player, plays with great leverage, an off-conference player. And he's working right in the middle of that Navy defense.
Showing blitz on 3rd down and 5. But Raritan in motion. They'll bring 4. Carr with time, over the middle, double coverage, incomplete. He was looking for Pauling, and no flag.
Well, they had coverage and a little bit of a miscommunication, I think, between Carr and Pauling. Carr thought he was going to take this all the way to the post. Pauling kind of slowed down. I think when he felt he was double covered, he figured the ball was going to go somewhere else. And Navy gets the stop.
So the 3 and out takes very little time off the clock. C.J. Carr on the offense will go back to the drawing board after the impressive opening drive. Took it 94 yards down the field. Now Navy's going to take their first timeout with 32 seconds left.
Timeout, Navy. That's their first. It'll be a full timeout.
So winding down in this opening quarter, Notre Dame holding on to a 7-0 lead, ready to send it back to the Navy offense. As this Notre Dame offense tries to continue its current trajectory.
Well, this look from above brought to you by Walmart. Watch Giuseppe Sessi. When he sees the tight end block, he immediately goes to help out on Will Pauling. Does a great job of catching up to the route and being there for the double coverage.
Outstanding name for a young man
Love the name.
who grew up a huge Notre Dame fan, and this is a shanked punt. Just barely gets across midfield by Rendell, downed at the 47, just 28 yards on the kick.
Well, the kicking issues continue for Notre Dame a little bit. It's Marty Biaggi, the special teams coach, outstanding special teams coach. And I mean, kickers, look, I mean, they can be mental midgets, let me put it that way, when it comes to, in terms of their confidence and in terms of getting shook up and, you know, what you got to do to kind of massage that. And between Marty and Marcus Freeman, they're trying to figure it out with their kickers.
So sets up this Navy offense in excellent field position, and they get it right into Notre Dame territory as Woodson takes it across to the 49. Likely the end of this opening quarter. The Cadets looking on as Navy tries to battle it out in this 98th meeting between these two schools. The most played opponent for Notre Dame, second most played opponent for Navy, right behind Army. And through one quarter, the midshipmen battling well, doing a great job of draining as much of that clock as possible. Defense finally getting a stop on that second drive. And it's 7-0 after one. We head to the second at Notre Dame Stadium. Brisk evening here in South Bend as Notre Dame looks for its 7th consecutive win. Navy trying to get back on track with a victory. Found out just before this game Blake Horvath wouldn't go, and Braxton Woodson has come in and looked pretty comfortable through a quarter.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, he's got a pretty good workload going so far.
Yeah.
Navy's had 15 plays, 11 of them have been him running the football. So they've got to take advantage of this field position right now. Their defense got a big stop. I don't know how many 3-and-outs they're ever going to see against Notre Dame. They got the stop. They got a bad punt. They're in good field position. They've got to find a way to capitalize on this drive.
The way this Notre Dame defense has played over the last month, takeaways have come in bunches. And Navy, obviously, the way they play offensively can generally take care of the football. We saw last year when these two teams played, the 6 turnovers happened, it felt like right away. Where one happened, opened the floodgates. We'll see if Navy can keep it that way.
And it was 1 interception late and 5 fumbles. And the fumbles were just the ball
popping
missing, just kind of landing on the ground. It wasn't stripped out by the defense. It was just a bad pitch or something. The ball bounced off a shoulder pad. They've got to take care of the football, and they got to stay ahead of schedule.
See what they can do here. It's a 2nd down and 6 to start this second quarter. First touch for Heidenreich as he gets to the outside and shows off that impressive speed across the 35.
Yeah, I got a great block from Teska also. Again, this team, they block so well for each other on the perimeter. Watch Teska lead from the fullback position. They were high school teammates at Mount Lebanon. And they've continued here at the Naval Academy, and the reason they can turn the corner and get those explosive runs on the perimeter is because of outstanding blocking on the outside.
Now 1,000 career rushing yards for Eli Heidenreich. Woodson across the 30. And this drive showcasing some real potential now as Tate Johnson adds another tackle to his tally.
Yeah, a little misdirection. Watch Woodson start like he's going to the left. A little hesitation. Get some of those linebackers to freeze a little bit, and a positive gain on 1st down. Even last year, even though Notre Dame won 51-14, when they took care of the football, they moved it against this Notre Dame defense.
2nd down and 4. Handoff. Teska up the middle, stays on his feet. Inside the red zone, he drags Leonard Moore with him to the 15. 13-yard pickup, and Navy's in business.
No, nobody tackled him. Watch Teska. He actually kind of bobbles the football, but no blue jersey puts a hand on him. He runs into his own guys and just keeps moving forward. And Leonard Moore from the secondary is the guy who ultimately gets him down. Good job of maintaining control of the football, but not very good interior defense that time by Notre Dame.
Teska has 7 touchdowns on the ground this season. Heidenreich has 3, and Chapman has 2. It's going to be Woodson. And he gets sent backward, gains just a yard before Ausberry shows him what Notre Dame football is all about.
Yeah, good penetration that time by Jaiden Ausberry, number 93. That's what kind of clogged up the play. Jaiden Ausberry got across the line of scrimmage. It made the quarterback pause, had to jump over him, and by that time the timing was messed up on the play.
See what Chris Ash's defense can do. He said it was going to be paramount to keep Navy in 3rd and 4 plus all night. Did it on the first series. Let's see if they can do it on this play. Pitch it. Nice play on the misdirection. It's Guerin to the outside. 1st and goal for Navy.
Yeah, beautiful call this time by Drew Croning. They hadn't shown this. Watch the defense just kind of pursue on this play. They're all going to chase, and they bring it backside. Bothello was supposed to have contained on the backside. He got caught with his eyes in the wrong place and didn't stay home to stop the play. Excellent call. And this Navy team in the red zone, one of the best. 75% they convert touchdowns when they get in the red zone.
Who will it be? Woodson has 3 touchdowns on the ground this season. Looking for another one here, and he won't get it on this first attempt. Kingston Viliamu Asa dragged him backward.
That was one of the problems a week ago. They had 3 times they had the ball on the 25-yard line or inside, came away with no points. Prior to that, they had been one of the best red zone teams in terms of scoring touchdowns in all of college football. Big opportunity right here.
See the numbers. 75% red zone touchdown percentage, top 15 in the country.
Unbalanced to the left.
They're going to push Woodson forward into the end zone. Waiting for the official signal, touchdown. Navy capitalizes on the field position, and the midshipmen are on the board.
Excellent block by number 79, Hoke Smith, the right guard. Watch Hoke Smith just get a push right here, and then the quarterback, Braxton Woodson's going to get a push from behind from Heidenreich, and they get in the end zone. They get the 3 and out by their defense, the short punt, and then they capitalize when they get the ball in the red zone.
There's a reason this team was 7-0 entering last week. They've showcased the most impressive and difficult stopping run game in the country as Kirkwood adds the extra point, and we are all even at 7. An 8-play, 53-yard drive. All 8 plays came on the ground, and Woodson on his 15th carry of this first half pays it off with the score. Well, Navy doing exactly what they could ask to do without their starting quarterback. Blake Horvath was ruled out about an hour before kickoff. You see him there, no pads, but out there to support the rest of his guys. And his backup Woodson has come in and run the offense as efficiently as you could possibly ask against one of the better defenses in the country.
Brian Newberry told us, said, look, we kind of pressed too much last week. Guys, little fear of failure, guys, it means so much to them. They don't want to let anybody down. He said maybe that loss, when it was all said and done, was good for us last night. We need to come in tonight and play free and have fun. And so far, it looks like they're doing that.
That was the exact message that Gino Auriemma delivered the team when he spoke to them before the UConn women's team played in Annapolis. So Vandy Train continues to move forward. Now Notre Dame is hoping to do the same and keeping their playoff hopes alive with another win here tonight.
Yeah, Clark Lee, the head coach there, former defensive coordinator here at Notre Dame.
Darian Price in there as this drive will start from the 29. Play action over the middle. Malachi Fields has his second grab and takes it all the way to the 49-yard line in a gain of 20.
Yeah, working against Phillip Hamilton, number 18. This is good coverage. It's just a big body. I mean, Malachi Fields is 6'5". He's a big body. He just kind of gets between the quarterback and the defender. Actually, it was Justin Ross in coverage. But a nice contested catch by Malachi Fields.
36 straight games now for Malachi Fields with a reception. He's got 2 catches, 72 yards, with the first one going 52 down the field. Right back to the air, this time to the outside, and it's Fields again. Stop on a dime, show off the strength. Inside Navy territory across the 40 as Justin Ross will shove him out of bounds. 14 more for number 0.
Now that time off coverage by the corner, and they just run the out in front of him.
It felt like Malachi Fields was due for a big game. He came in with 21 catches, 400 yards, 3 touchdowns. He had a touchdown last week, but just 2 catches for 52 yards. Coming off back-to-back seasons of 800-plus receiving yards and 5 touchdowns. It was only a matter of time. He has a quick start to the season, but it's been a lot more of Will Pauling over the last month as Darian Price's first carry will go up the middle for 6 yards.
Yeah, this 1-2 combination in the backfield, as good as any, if not the best in college football, with Jeremiyah Love and Jadarian Price. The only hiccup or negative for Jadarian Price is he's had 3 fumbles inside the 5-yard line around the goal line this year. Other than that, a couple 100-yard kickoff returns for touchdowns and a dynamic running back.
Last week, his fumble inside the 5 felt critical with a chance to go up a couple of scores early in that ball game against BC. Another throw, another catch. Malachi Fields having himself a first half. That one's a 13-yard pickup. He's already near 100 in the first quarter and a half.
And this is such good timing by C.J. Carr. He throws it before Fields is out of his break, and he puts it on the outside shoulder, and he puts it high, knowing that Fields has the height advantage at 6'4", puts it up high, lets him go up vertically and make the catch on the sideline.
45 yards on this drive, 97 yards already, and it's a first down from the 20. Price has been a monster for long touchdown runs outside of the 11-yard line this year. This time he will zigzag his way inside the 15 down to the 13-yard line. Talking about the dynamic duo, the only team with 2 running backs with 900+ all-purpose yards this year. Also 2 players with 10+ touchdowns apiece. They have been as dynamic and as dominant as you possibly could ask.
And again, I mentioned the kickoff return. The last time we were here at USC, that was the play that really turned the game for Notre Dame. After USC had scored, came back with a kickoff return for a touchdown.
It's Price. Oh, it looked like he could shoot through that hole and run it in for the easy score. Instead, it's 3rd down and 1 on an excellent play by Coleman Cawley.
Yeah, nice play by Cawley. Nice block by Eli Raritan, number 9, the tight end. Cawley right there, 58, shooting through the gap, and gets him right by the legs. It was well blocked, and Cawley able to get him to the ground.
3rd down and 1.
Love that. Just C.J. Carr just in total command at the line of scrimmage.
Up the middle, Price doesn't look like he's got it.
This is one of the areas, we talked about the problems with kicking. The other area that's been a bit of a concern for Notre Dame this year has been on 3rd or 4th down and short yardage. They're coming up, it looks like a 4th down play here. One of the worst in the country coming into the game. Only 8 of 20 on 4th down conversions.
You can feel the anticipation from the Irish fans here at Notre Dame Stadium. What does Mike Denbrock have in his bag on 4th and 1? Carr outside. It is caught. Faison makes 2 miss. 1st and goal, Irish.
4th and less than 1. They elect to put C.J. Carr on the move and throw the football. We talked about Faison being able to make people miss. Usually he does it by juking him, not ducking him. But he ducks 2 guys and adds a couple more yards and gets the ball down to the 2-yard line.
He came into this one with 16 forced missed tackles, which was top 5 among power 4 wide receivers. Adds 2 more to that on that play alone, and now it's Price back in there. 1st and goal from the 2-yard line. Price has got it. Touchdown, Notre Dame. Love had the 1st, Price has the 2nd, and the top duo in the backfield in college football continues to hurt defenses.
Nice job by Joe Otting. Watch the center get a block here. The right guard's going to get a block here, and then right up into the middle. Jadarian Price going to go. Runs right through the linebacker, but good blocking at the point of attack by the Irish, and Price able to pay it off with the touchdown.
9 plays, 71 yards down the field in just over 5 minutes. And now Schmidt is 2 for 2 in his extra points. Notre Dame responds to the Navy score and gets back in front. It was all Jadarian Price on the drive. 5 carries for 17 yards. Pays it off with a 2-yard touchdown run. His 9th of the season to put his team up. As we're back here in South Bend, it's a 14-7 lead with 5:57 to play in this first half. As Navy will get the football back and see if they can do what they did on their previous drive with their new quarterback Braxton Woodson after their captain, senior starting quarterback Blake Horvath was a late scratch an hour before kickoff with an injury sustained last week at the end of the North Texas game. Schmidt sends it away, and this one another touchback will bring it out for Navy. Time now for Above the Rest, brought to you by Jersey Mike Subs.
Well, Braxton Woodson has more carries in the ball game than Notre Dame's Jeremiyah Love and Jadarian Price combined. 15 carries, 69 yards, do a little bit of everything. A little improvisation right here, extending a play. And then the touchdown with the push from behind, uses his strength and that long body to get the ball in the end zone, but a good start for Braxton Woodson.
He gave the Cena as well. Can't see him. Travel start for the 25. We've seen Teska get involved a bit with 3 carries. Heidenreich only has 1. Guerin had 1 as well. As Woodson gets spun down by Viliamu-Asa. He talked about block destruction being one of his main focal points this year, and he blows one up.
Yeah, here he is right here. Block destruction. He's going to take on Teska, knock him down, and then knock the quarterback down. That's block destruction and runner destruction in the same play.
That's not a small man.
No.
Teska's 6 foot 200, and Viliamu-Asa just tossed him like a rag doll. We met with him yesterday. He walked in the room. Oh yeah, that's a linebacker. 6'3", 230. This time Woodson is going to carry it for the 17th time before Leonard Moore gets to him after a 2-yard gain.
Right now they're in that place that they don't want to be. They had the negative play on first down. Put him behind the chains. Now they're 3rd and long in their own territory. And a lot of time left here for Notre Dame in this first half. Woodson has only tried to throw 1 pass. It's incomplete so far in the ball game.
3rd and 9 from the 26. Woodson will throw. Single coverage on the outside, incomplete. He overthrew Luke Hutchison, who was trying to streak down, making his return from injury with legit speed and couldn't connect.
Yeah, he had him. He has a step on Mark Zachary, number 24, the freshman cornerback. Just an overthrown ball. They were hoping to get Hutchinson back. He's been out since the Rice game. He gives them some speed and athleticism on the outside, and Braxton Woodson just not able to connect on that throw.
So, 3 and out. Carlson on the punt for the 3rd time here in this first half. And Faison back there to return. Notre Dame coming up the middle, and it's another clean kick, just barely, as Faison makes the fair catch at the 32-yard line. C.J. Carr in the offense with a chance to extend with 4.5 to play in this first half. Navy looking for its first victory in South Bend since 2009, their first win over the Irish in nearly a decade. And the midshipmen battling hard so far here as we look at the first down line, brought to you by Allstate. This drive will start from the 32-yard line for this Notre Dame offense. And after it was all Price on the previous drive, Jeremiyah Love in there, a touchdown to get things rolling on their first drive on 6 carries, 18 yards. And the eventual score also had that 27-yard reception on 3rd and 10. Carr will throw, and this one is read perfectly by the Navy defense. Ira Oniha was right there with Faison when he made the grab.
Yeah, they were showing man coverage. You know, Oniha reads it quickly. I mean, they had somebody to block him. Will Pauling was supposed to block him, but Oniha read it so quickly, he couldn't get there for the block.
Loses 3 yards to make it 2nd down and 13. Love bursts through, spins away, and gets it to the 35-yard line as we go to KT.
Well, Jeremiyah Love said his success comes down to the hard yards. Love told me it's not always about the fancy moves, and sometimes it's about the little gains that set up a big breakthrough. Love said this season has been about remaining patient, knowing the time will come for him to explode and be spectacular, guys.
He said that he knows he can make special plays at almost any time, but to KT's point, the patience is what makes him such a special player, because he blocks well, he's a great receiver out of the backfield, and then when the moment comes, as it did against BC last week, 4th quarter, need the big play, get it from 94 yards to basically seal that game. 3rd down and 7. Give it right back to Love. Spins away, stays on his feet. Jeremiyah Love into the secondary. It's a first down carry into Navy territory of 17.
Yeah, Navy expecting pass here on 3rd down, and decent yardage. Great job by Love with the spin move. and then just going north and south, knowing what he needed for the first down. And those are the tough yards that KT was talking about. Last week at BC, 16 of his carries only went for 43 yards, but he had the one that went for 94 and a touchdown that sealed the game.
From the 49-yard line, Carr pumps, Carr fires, looking towards the end zone, incomplete but a flag. Justin Ross was covering Malachi Fields.
Yeah, it was a little hesitation move by Fields. And Fields had a step. The ball was underthrown by C.J. Carr.
Pass interference. Defense, number 13, 15-yard penalty, first down.
I think he bent 17. Justin Ross, he's beat. He's trying to catch up. The ball's underthrown, and he runs right in.
The foul's on number 17.
I respect the honesty from Kevin Randall.
It's so hard for a defender in man coverage when you're beat and the ball is underthrown. You don't have time to look back for the ball. You don't know where it's at. And then invariably you run into the receiver coming back to try to make a catch.
Sets up a fresh set from the 34. And Love gets wrestled down after a gain of 2 yards, maybe 3.
Meanwhile, C.J. Carr off to a fast start, 8 of 9 for 132 yards. And with a little tempo right here, try to get another play before the 2-minute timeout. Or maybe not.
They'll be content to take it down and take this from the 32-yard line when we come out. 2 minutes to play here in the first half. Notre Dame trying to double dip. They'll get the ball to start the second half, already up a score in the 98th meeting with Navy. Marcus Freeman preached complimentary football to his team.
Yeah, he said last week when the offense was good, the defense wasn't, and vice versa. And the result was it was a 12-7 game at halftime. It was a 1-possession game that went all the way into the fourth quarter against a 1-win BC team. He wants to see a change in that, and a score right here at the end of the first half would definitely feel better for him.
So it's got to be good defense paired by good offense. Then, of course, good kicking game, which you said really impacted them as well in their failed attempts. Carr on the fadeaway, and it's dropped. He had Fields coming back to the football, his first drop after 4 catches and 97 yards.
Yeah, he targeted him 5 times, and that time just took his eye off it at the last minute, trying to think about which way he might turn. And maybe one of the easier catches he's had so far tonight, just not able to bring it in.
Sets up 3rd down and 8.
Big opportunity for the Navy defense here.
They bring 5. Carr, well protected, finds Pauling. First down and then some inside the 20. Pauling stay on his feet. Pauling all the way to the 5. Just weaving through, knifing his way inside the 10. A 27-yard gain.
Well, it starts with good pass protection. Jeremiyah Love's going to stay in to help. Good job on the front, clean pocket. And then the slipperiness on a wet night for Will Pauling. Poor tackling by Navy. And Will Pauling with yardage after the catch.
Just seen him get more and more comfortable over the last 5 games, now nearly 300 yards. He's had 5 touchdowns. Continuing to find the end zone. He'll go to the sideline, 1st and goal. Jeremiyah Love in there, quick throw, Faison to the pylon, touchdown! Perfect execution by the Irish to extend the lead.
Well, this is beautifully done by Malachi Fields. It's a pick play, but if you're too obvious, you're going to get called. Watch Fields. He's going to go in here. This guy has coverage. He's going to avoid him, but he's going to get in his way enough to disrupt the coverage. Avoids him, slows the coverage enough, and they get the football quickly to Faison for the touchdown. Really well done by Malachi Fields, getting his teammate open for the touch.
3rd touchdown of the season for Faison, 8th of his career. 7-play drive, 68 yards, and now can Schmidt go 3 for 3 on extra points? Yes, he can. 21-7. Notre Dame extends, leaves 1 minute and 42 seconds on the clock, but it's the lacrosse and football dual athlete who extends it for the Irish. Still to come on the All-State halftime report. Indiana and Oregon talk about survive.
Wow.
That is the perfect word for both of that. Road scares, and John Fanta has made it, allegedly, to recap today's best moments in college football. Busy day for Fanta. A couple of basketball games. Makes his trip back to the studio, and we will get Fanta in 60 as we go to KT.
Oh, we saw Jordan Faison with that touchdown. He told me how impressed he is by the 20-year-old CJ Carr. He said he's a dude that wants to go out there and win. He's not going to let any inconvenience or any bad play shake him up. Faison said he's a teammate that you want to follow. It rubs off on other people on the team, and it makes them want to lead as well. And once you have a whole group of leaders, you're unstoppable, guys.
Well, and I don't think they want to be done here in the first half either. Notre Dame has all 3 timeouts. If they can get a 3 and out here, I wouldn't be surprised if Marcus Freeman uses those timeouts on defense and tries to get the ball back one more time before the half.
Woodson, 2 pass attempts so far, yet to find a completion. This time, dangerous and incomplete to stop the clock with 1:36.
Yeah, and that should have been a catch. That was Heidenreich. Good job by Woodson extending the play and trying to find an opening. It is a little bit behind Heidenreich. Drake Bowen is in coverage, but that's a catchable pass. It just slips right through his hands.
So 2nd down and 10 from the 25. Allows Notre Dame to keep all 3 of their timeouts without worrying about stopping it, at least initially here. Woodson, 17 carries, 70 yards and a touchdown. Now 0 for 3 throwing the football, and he'll drop back again. This time he's going to step up, and he's got some room. Woodson's got the first down across the 40 into Notre Dame territory.
My goodness.
What a run.
Big time.
Braxton Woodson pulls a rabbit out of a hat for the midshipman.
Notre Dame's got 2 safeties back. Linebackers clear out of there in man coverage, and Woodson reads that, sees a lot of grass, and shows his open field running ability, very similar to Blake Horvath in that kind of a play. Excellent play by Woodson.
Goes 41 yards. He's up over 100 in this first half.
Now Navy may think about utilizing their timeouts here.
Woodson gets away from the rush, directing traffic. Woodson will just sail out of bounds at the line of scrimmage.
Obviously, this is not the way Navy's offense is built, to just drop back and throw it down after down. It's Drew Cronick, the 2nd-year offensive coordinator, but they're in a 2-minute offense. They're right before the half. They've got 2 timeouts. They just got the explosive run. And their quarterback is making good decisions with the football. That's what's most encouraging, is he's not putting the ball in harm's way so far. 2nd
down and 10. Woodson sets up the screen. It's Teska. He's tripped up.
Yeah, Jaiden Ausberry made a nice play. Coming from inside out. Does this look like it had a chance to be pretty good? Watch Ausberry read it, fight off the block, and get the tackle playing inside out.
Beautifully done, leading to a timeout called by Notre Dame before a 3rd down and 8. So 56 seconds still on the clock here. Ben Purvis appeared to be walking gingerly back toward the Navy huddle. Talk about the leader up front for this Navy offensive line. Position captain. They have captains at each position group to go with their overall team captains. Purvis is the offensive line captain with 26 consecutive starts coming into this game. Here's what happened.
His own man. Teska at the end of that play just kind of rolled up on the back of his leg. Tough guy, though. He's back in there.
Well, as Chris Ash said to us, we're not going to out-tough Navy. These guys are trained to go to war, literally.
He said we're bigger, stronger, and faster, and we have to execute, but we're not going to be any tougher than these guys are.
3rd down and 8. Teska and Chapman in there with Woodson. Heidenreich, the motion man. Woodson a throw to the outside. Heidenreich makes the grab. It's a 1st down.
Boy, this is really a nice route by Heidenreich, working against man coverage, the freshman Mark Zachary. And a well-thrown ball to the outside for the first down. But what a route. Watch this route. Gets him squared up, gets leverage, breaks it out, and the ball is there on time.
Moves the sticks to the 15. And now Navy plenty of time to work with. 50 seconds. They've got 2 timeouts with however they want to try to use that. Teska gets a couple of extra yards after the initial contact, gains 2.
Well, they got to line up quick. If they're not going to use a timeout here, they need to get up and get their play called. This is not a team that plays with tempo unless you're in this situation. Typically, they're very deliberate, but they're working against the clock right now.
Woodson scans, could not get away. He is sacked.
Yeah.
Junior Tuialamaka.
That's a young quarterback or a new quarterback mistake. The worst thing you can do in this situation is take a sack. If it's not open, you got to get rid of the football. Working on the freshman tackle. Malcolm Johnson gets beat on this play, but Woodson kind of steps into it and doesn't have a chance to throw the football away. You're forced to use your timeout there, and it's kind of a wasted negative play, bringing up 3rd and long. Again, this is not, how they're used to playing offense, right?
Yep.
They're used to being run their stuff, do their run game, quarterback run game. But every team, no matter what your offense is, you practice 2-minute offense, right? And hurry up offense. And that's what they're in right now. But it's a little out of their comfort zone, and they're doing it with their backup quarterback.
Nathan Kirkwood, the senior kicker from Pennsylvania, has only attempted 7 field goals this year. Made 6 of them, has only missed coming from 43 yards. That was against Rice. Teska and Chapman in the backfield with the quarterback, Braxton Woodson, filling in for the injured Blake Horvath. Scratched about an hour before kick. A 3rd down and 11. It was Heidenreich on the last 3rd down, keeping his back pedal and a little bit too high for his intended target of Hutchison.
Yeah, really nice rush by Joshua Burnham, number 40. Kind of works through the block of the left tackle, Sean Crowley. Watch up at the top of the screen, watch Burnham. Fights right through the left tackle and gets in the face of the quarterback and forces a high and inaccurate throw.
Leonard Moore in coverage. Kirkwood will come on for a 33-yard attempt. Fry will snap. Carlson will hold. Low snap, handled well, and Kirkwood drills it.
Oh, great job on that hold. That was a low snap. It's a wet night. He's able to gather it and still get it down. Excellent job.
Nice job by Kirkwood to be unaffected by the chaos leading into it. You can see the 2 of them, the punter and the kicker, fired up after the fact, rightfully so. So Navy gets some points before the end of the half, as Notre Dame will start with the football in the 3rd quarter, 15 seconds here. Let's not forget that Jadarian Price has already taken 2 kicks to the house this year, including last time they were on this field, a 100-yard return against USC. So Woodson completes his first 2 passes of the night for 19 yards on that previous drive. He's up to 108 rushing yards, including a 41-yard scamper on that drive. His 4th 100-yard game of his career, and smartly, Navy will not kick it to Price. It was actually initially muffed, and Burnham will scoop it up and bring it forward across the 35-yard line. Touchdown Jesus overlooks as Notre Dame looks content to go into the locker room with a 21-10 lead.
How about our colleague Jordan Cornette, who played basketball here at Notre Dame? He calls that 3-point Jesus.
Yeah, he does. It does look like the 3-point competition during All-Star weekend. Good, 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 good. That's how you could describe this Notre Dame offense. They look good all first half. 10 of 12, 164 yards and a touchdown for C.J. Carr. Love and Price each with a rushing touchdown. Faison caught the last one, and it's an 11-point cushion for the Irish after 2. against the stout Navy team as we go down to KT.
Coach, you wanted to see your team play better complementary football. How do you think they're doing so far?
Oh, we're doing a decent job. We gotta on defense, we gotta play on their line of scrimmage up front. We gotta be more aggressive, and we can't let that last series, those quarterback runs. We can't. They'll kill you. Thankfully, we only gave them 3 points, but we got to continuously. We got to come out here in the second half and have a good drive to start, and then we got to keep building off of it.
How have things looked different with Braxton Woodson, in your opinion?
He's a good player. He's faster than you see on film. He's running our offense efficiently. He's not getting tackled easily. We're going to have to get after him and be aggressive if we want to be successful in the second half.
Coach, thanks so much.
Thank you.
All right, Catherine, 21-10, Notre Dame in front. Looking to finish like a champion here tonight. Ahmed and the gang next on NBC. Time now for the CFB Bulletin, brought to you by Genesis Motor America. 21-10 after 2 from Notre Dame Stadium here in South Bend as the Irish look for another win. They've allowed their first 100-plus yard rusher this season, and it comes by the quarterback Braxton Woodson filling in for the injured Blake Horvath for the midshipmen. C.J. Carr, marvelous in that first half. 10 of 12, 164 yards and a touchdown. Took care of the football, effective, efficient, and going to his big-bodied receiver on the outside. Malachi Fields with a season-high 97 yards on 4 catches. He had the 52-yarder down the field on the first drive of the offensive game of this Notre Dame attack. It set up the eventual Jeremiyah Love touchdown to get Notre Dame on the board. They're going to get the football to start this second half after Navy won the toss and elected to receive. So Woodson and the midshipmen offense will be shelved momentarily, and we'll see what Notre Dame can do coming out of the halftime locker room.
I think we'll see the same approach, very balanced approach. In that first half, 15 runs, 12 passes for Notre Dame, and just depends on how Navy deploys defensively. If they're going to crowd the line of scrimmage and play man-to-man coverage, even in this weather, it's not affecting C.J. Carr's accuracy or ability to throw the football.
And the weather is affecting the kicking game right now, at least the kickoff game for Lance Gossett.
Fouls, kicking team. The ball be placed at the 35-yard line. First down, Notre Dame.
Let's go to KT.
Yeah, guys, that one just came right to us, and it is, as Todd mentioned, a changing wintry mix here tonight. I did just speak to Brian Newberry, and he said he's really proud of Braxton Woodson and the job that he's done. He said he's not phased at all on this stage. He said the key for us, we got to get off on third down defensively. That has not helped us at all. We had a couple plays we could have done better on. He said this is a really tight ball game. I'm pleased with the way we're stopping the run, but we've got to put more points on the board, guys.
Yeah, Notre Dame 3 of 5 on third down in the first half. That includes that 3rd and 10 on the third play of their offensive game as Carr loads it up after dropping the initial snap. And Ross was right there with Fields, incomplete.
Yeah, that's on C.J. He knows it. He dropped the football, trying to make the fake to Jeremiyah Love, threw off the timing, threw off his comfort, and just didn't make an accurate throw. And really, the first throw he's made tonight that was not right where it needs to be.
You could see, I can't even tell if it's rain or snow anymore. It's somewhere in between. As KT mentioned, the wintry mix is probably the right way to describe it. So second play, it's a 2nd and 10 from the 35. And it's a handoff for Love, who gets bottled up, gets back, gains half a yard. Griffin Willis, the first one there. Jackson Campbell helps to finish off the play.
Yeah, nice little run stunt. Watch, the line is going to stunt right in the direction that this ball is going. Jeremiyah gets it. The line stunted right there. That's why they were able to get into the backfield. And a nice play on 2nd down, and a chance for Navy now to get a 3 and out here to start the 3rd quarter.
This was exactly how that first possession went for Notre Dame. Can Navy learn from their mistake? Giving up the long one for Love. This time it's Faison, and again the yards after catch chewed up by 6 and blue.
Easy pitch and catch, off coverage. So you can throw that little hitch route and know that Faison has the ability to make the first guy miss. So you throw it short of the first down, easy completion, and then let him do the rest. Has a real knack for that.
Just circumvented Bryce Allen. And now Faison, who was quiet in the early going here, up to the 4 catches, 27, and the score. Love. A lot of effort, but well played by this Navy defense. They never pulled down. And now Love has speed down the sideline. Jeremiyah Love race to the pylon. He wins. Touchdown. As always, Love is the answer in South Bend.
I just don't think they wrapped him up. Julian Mutumi, number 90, is going to be the guy that takes him to the ground. But watch number 90. Jeremiyah Love is just going to roll across his body and never touch the ground and pop back up and turn into a spectacular play. It was well defended by Navy. They just didn't get him on the ground.
Schmidt has been perfect on extra points so far. In what looked like a great defensive play, and a loss of 3 turns into a gain of 48 and another touchdown for Jay Love. He's got the second highest odds among non-quarterbacks to win the Heisman this year. This is a Heisman type of play. Jeremiyah Love stays on his feet and then shows off the world-class speed for another score. It really is a shame that physical ticket stubs have gone away, because some of these are so awesome. You take them home, frame them, do whatever you got to do, collect them over the course of time. And in this, what's becoming almost putrid weather here in South Bend, number 10, Notre Dame in the first college football playoff ranking has extended its lead 28-10, courtesy of another sensational run, sensational effort by Jeremiyah Love, who's now got 11 carries, 91 yards, 2 touchdowns. Last one went for 48. Another multi-touchdown game for the man wearing number 4 for the Irish. You see what he's done now, 37 career touchdowns, rising top 5 in Notre Dame history and still counting.
Well, there are Heisman moments, and really they happened in November, and this is a pretty spectacular play that not everybody around the country can make. Jeremiyah Love just continues to make big plays, and Fernando Mendoza certainly took a big step forward in the Heisman race with his late comeback at Penn State. I still think the two Jeremiahs, Jeremiah Smith and Jeremiyah Love, are the 2 best players in college football.
From the 25, it's Woodson after the fake pitch. He'll gain 3. And so that's obviously the argument when you talk about an award like a Heisman. You hear this all the time with MVP awards at the pro level. Best player versus best season versus best team and player on the best team. There's all the arguments for different ways.
Well, and everybody that votes has their own criteria, the way they see that, the way they interpret that. I'm a voter, and one of the things that I like to wait, and I like to see how guys play in the biggest games and the biggest moments. And most of those happen late in the year.
Second down and 7. Not a whole lot of room for Teska to work there, as he'll get it to the 30, set up 3rd down and 5. So a Navy offense that has Woodson already over 100 yards, playing without that man. Blake Horvath was scratched from this game about an hour before kickoff with an upper body injury. Brian Newberry in year 3 has had Horvath as a starter in the last 2. And saw him when he was defensive coordinator at Navy playing some JV games as a freshman. That's when he really started to turn the heads of the coaching staff and earn his trust before becoming the starter. Now it's Woodson to the outside. It's short of the sticks. Heidenreich made the catch, but he couldn't keep his footing before going out of bounds.
Gain of 3 yards. Ball at the 33-yard line.
Yeah, that's unfortunate because the defender fell down. Schuler on his way to the sideline, and had Heidenreich been able to stay in bounds, he would have easily converted. Instead, Brian Newberry at this point deciding to go for it here on 4th down.
Fantastic numbers on 4th down this year, 67%.
Gotta believe the quarterback's gonna run the football here.
All 3 weapons around him. Chapman in the motion man. Faked it to Teska, and he gets denied. Braxton Woodson tried to back his way to the line, and Adon Schuler says no. Jeremiyah Love gets the long touchdown. Now it's the defense.
Well, first it was Billy Amuasa. He's the first guy in there to slow him up, to get him turned around. And Notre Dame takes over. Back here in South Bend after the fourth down stop, Jeremiyah Love has had a very productive night. 118 total yards, 1 catch on a big third down, 2 touchdowns, and just continues to make big-time plays. Running for tough yards and then a little bit of the spectacular as well. His last touchdown not taken to the ground. And Jeremiah Smith doing what only he can do.
So 91 yards and 2 touchdowns, 118 total. Remember that 27 through the air came on the first third down of the game for this Notre Dame offense. It's a 3rd and 10 deep in their own territory. Now Carr over the middle to the end zone. Wide open touchdown, KK Smith. 1 play, 34 yards. Carr on fire at home.
Well, again, it starts with protection. Great protection up front. A clean pocket for C.J. Carr. Will Pauling, the slot receiver, is going to clear out the middle, but watch the pocket. Jadarian Price stays in. Eli Raridan stays in. They're releasing 2 receivers down the field. Great job by KK Smith getting inside leverage on the cornerback, and then another perfect deep throw by C.J. Carr.
And the good news is Schmidt has looked good on these extra points. Now 5 for 5. KK Smith with his 2nd career touchdown after he caught his first against NC State a couple weeks ago.
Excellent route by KK Smith. Watch him get inside leverage and then run the post. And Will Pauling is going to draw the safety with an in route and just open up the middle of the field for this throw. Beautiful throw over the top of the defense. C.J. Carr did it last week against BC with 3 passes of over 40 yards, and he's doing it again tonight.
Oh, look at this ref cam. That's good stuff. Get it up close. C.J. Carr feeling it. 12 of 15, 214, 2 scores. And KK Smith, I love what Marcus Freeman told us a couple weeks ago. Look at Mike Denbrock and his young quarterback enjoying themselves. And Marcus Freeman, we asked about KK Smith after his quote-unquote breakout performance against NC State. And Marcus said he's an example for a lot of the players and a lot of people in general. There are 2 options while you wait for your opportunity. You can either just wait or you can work while you wait. And they felt like KK Smith, who came in with a ton of confidence, impressive high school football player, thought that he would come in and make an immediate impact. It just hasn't quite happened for him. And he has worked and worked and worked and bided his time. And when his opportunity has come now, he has delivered a couple of times this year. Just to put a button on that KK Smith thing, the other thing that Marcus said is they have to be a lot louder when they showcase examples like KK versus Leonard Moores, because there are a lot more KK Smiths than there are Leonard Moores, and so they really have to prop that up and praise to show the rest of the team the perfect example of working while you wait. Let's see what Navy's response is here. A handoff for Chapman, and he loses a yard.
Well, and Marcus told KT in the second half they had to kind of press the line of scrimmage. They need to play on the Navy side of the line of scrimmage, be a little bit more aggressive, and we've seen that so far here in the 3rd quarter. A little more downhill, getting into the Navy side of the football, and another negative yardage play on 1st down. Again, this Navy offense is built to stay ahead of the chains, stay in normal down and distance. Notre Dame knows that and is knocking them back.
2nd down and 11. Woodson, Ausberry there, ball is out. Teska's there to jump on it. Jaiden Ausberry got right to the football and knocked the rock to the ground.
Well, Heidenreich is going to go out on a pass route. And I don't know if Teska didn't know if Ausberry was going to go with him or not, but he doesn't have his eyes out on the linebacker. And Ausberry gets to the quarterback and strips the football out. I think that was a mistake by Teska, not going to block that end man on the line.
It's a 3rd and 22. Navy only has 1 play over 20 yards. It was the 41-yard run by Woodson to end that 1st half. He's going to have to throw it. his 8th attempt of the night. Put some air under it, and it's dropped.
Wow, what a throw.
Brandon Chapman, it was right in the numbers.
Yeah, I think it was going to be short of the first down, but it was still an outstanding throw on the sideline. In between the corner and the safety, there was a little hole out there on the sideline, and that ball was thrown perfectly, and Chapman just unable to come down with it.
Met with Navy this week as Carlson blew it away. Saw Bryce Young come around the edge, who was so great at blocking kicks last year. Faison will take it in, just on the plus side of the field for this Notre Dame offense, up 35-10. Time now for Honor Roll, brought to you by Nissan. November 8th, 1975, Rudy Rudiger recorded a sack on the game's final play, carried off the field by his teammates following the game. First player in Notre Dame history to be honored in such a way. Saturday's game here tonight, 50th anniversary. And yeah, Rudy's gonna bang the drum, rightfully so, in the building and thoroughly enjoying himself and his treasured Irish. I mean, I've watched the movie maybe 40 times. Cool to have him back in the building, and he gets to see a high-powered Notre Dame offense with Price now on the field. He'll disappear in the pile and gain a yard.
One of the coaches featured in that film, Joe Yonto, was the coach that recruited me from Notre Dame. Yes, I took a visit here my senior year in high school.
Was the weather better than it is today?
No, there was a lot of snow on the ground the weekend I was here.
Would you say that was a deterring factor?
Well, I was from Ohio. I wasn't too turned off by snow. Cool thing was I did get to see a UCLA Notre Dame basketball game, which was pretty special.
Oh, that's high level.
Yeah.
Especially at that time, Notre Dame was pretty good on the hardwood at that point, right?
Yep. That was fun.
Third down as clock ticks, 9 minutes to play in this third quarter right now. Notre Dame basketball team came off a very impressive win last night against Detroit. Here they are on the football field looking for win number 7 in a row, ranked 10th by the initial college football playoff committee, and proving that they are in fact that ascending team. The college football playoff committee talked about their improved defense from the first couple of weeks and the best running back duo in the country. That was explicitly mentioned after the first ranking.
Play clock's down to 2. They're going to have to use a timeout.
So Marcus Freeman will take his first with 8.5 to play in the third.
Notre Dame.
He's had a big night throwing the ball over the top of this defense. Again, so much concern with trying to stop the run, trying to get bodies up there to deal with Jeremiyah Love and Jadarian Price. And you've kind of held them somewhat in check, but C.J. Carr makes you pay for that philosophy. Did the same thing a week ago in Boston, and he's doing it again tonight.
He had 299 yards in Chestnut Hill last week. The offense as a whole, 458 total yards against the Golden Eagles, and yet with a mix, 2 extra points and field goal, it wasn't as smooth sailing as maybe Notre Dame would have hoped, as Price gets it across the 35-yard line, picks up 11 to keep this drive alive. The other thing Marcus Freeman said when we talked to him yesterday, it's human nature that they're also battling at this point. This is a team that ran the table last year in the regular season and got into the college football playoff. The human nature would say, okay, we can just go and do that again. On top of that, the records of their opponents, or maybe the quote-unquote quality of their opponent just on the schedule on paper, isn't as strong as those first 2 weeks. And so they go into a lot of these games, and naturally, as Marcus said, that human nature, as Carr took a hit, let it fly, open man, a lot of contact, and a flag does come in. Cam Williams, the freshman, was streaking down the middle. Carr was looking for him. Justin Ross was back there. Coleman Cauley provided a lot of that contact to the quarterback. And let's hear from Kevin Randall.
Pass interference, defense, number 17. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot, first down.
Same thing we saw earlier. He's beaten, the defender is beaten. He's trying to catch up. The ball is underthrown because of the pressure by Cauley, and Carr not able to step into that throw. And there's just no way for the defender to slow down or avoid that contact. when the receiver stops and comes back to the football.
So 7:48 remaining in this third quarter. Notre Dame looking for more inside the red zone.
I haven't seen a ball go to Eli Raridan today. Has been a favorite weapon of C.J. Carr.
It's Price instead to the outside. Jaiden Price inside the 10, punishing defenders on the back end of that run.
Well, watch the block by Eli Raridan. Hasn't caught a pass, but watch number 9 get a nice block on the edge, just seal the defensive end, keep him inside, and that enables Jaiden Price to turn the corner for a nice run.
First and 10 from the 11-yard line.
Price up to 45 yards and a touchdown. Love 91 yards and 2 scores. C.J. Carr has 2 touchdowns through the air. What will it be here on first and goal from the 6? Put Washington in motion. It's Price to the 4. So Marcus Freeman has implored his team, going back to the human nature idea. It has to be hard. You have to feel like it's difficult through the week. He said he gets to the building almost every Tuesday and says, this is going to be brutal. But you stack those Tuesdays, you stack those Wednesdays. The idea is you're going to be at your very best towards the end of the season. We saw that last year. They got better all the way through the college football playoff. Second and goal. Carr throws, caught, touchdown. Ty Washington's first of the year. And the Arkansas transfer puts Notre Dame up 41-10.
Most of the time when they bring Ty Washington in motion, he blocks to kind of protect the backside. Watch as he comes in motion. Normally he stops to block. They slip him out in the flat. And C.J. Carr gets him the ball quickly. Mike Denbrook with a little bit of a change-up, a formation and a motion they use a lot in their run game. They throw off of it. And another touchdown pass for C.J. Carr.
Schmidt hits another one. 42-10. Notre Dame in full control, dominating this third quarter. It's the 5th different player with a touchdown for the Irish as Washington gets into the end zone. The rich get richer here in South Bend. Drake Bowen played in that game. We've seen a number of Irish players over the years play in that game. And now Larry's next kin is ready to continue the family legacy. We're just past the midway point of this third quarter. It was a fairly competitive game at the half, and Notre Dame has put up 3 touchdowns in barely any time. And Todd, you brought this up early in the game, but part of what allowed Navy to stay in the game for the first 2 quarters is the ball possession time was very much in their favor. Meanwhile, this defense has completely ramped up. I mean, Chris Ash's hair, there's nothing left in terms of product in there. It is all the way down, and his defense is following suit.
Well, Marcus is now a head coach. He wears a hat to protect his hairline. Right. Chris Ash says, forget it.
You know, defensive coordinator, the grittiness.
Yeah.
And Marcus left that behind as there's a new quarterback in there. Jackson Gutierrez running the show now out of the shotgun and explodes up the middle across the 30. An 8-yard pickup on first down.
Yeah, this Navy offense lists 3 quarterbacks. Blake Horvath, Braxton Woodson, Jackson Gutierrez, and sometimes they're all on the field at the same time because Woodson and Gutierrez have also played running back. Versatile guys. Again, it's a run-first offense. And a nice first run that time by Gutierrez.
This time under center. Shane Reynolds is out there with him. They'll lead the way, and Gutierrez's second effort is going to move the sticks. Let's not forget for Navy, there's a lot obviously happening in this game. Blake Horvath gets ruled out just about an hour before it kicked. This is still a team that has everything out in front of them as well in a crowded American Conference.
Yeah, it's a good league. I mean, there's a really good chance that the winner of the American Conference Championship is going to be one of those teams that gets the college football playoff berth as the top-ranked group of 5 team.
And off this time, it is Reynolds pushing the pile to the 40. So here's a look at the American Conference standings. Navy at 5-1 in conference, 7-1 overall. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 one-loss teams within the conference. Memphis just lost their second game, so they now go behind the 8 ball. South Florida had that phenomenal start to the season. North Texas got the win over Navy last week. And let's not forget, for Navy, they could run the table. They could get into the AAC championship game and win, and to your point, could get into the college football playoff. And after being selected, they have their biggest game of the year, which is still against Army a week later.
Right, on the 13th of December. But it won't be an easy road for Brian Newberry's team. They've got South Florida next, who is a very talented football team. And then Memphis. 2 very difficult tests after this one, before that Army game.
Brian Newberry talked about tightening things up. Despite a 7-0 start, felt like there were holes. Got exposed last week in his eyes. He wants his kids to go back to having fun while they play. Stop pressing a little bit. As this is going to be a nice roundabout run getting to midfield by Jackson Gutierrez.
I think they got a hold of Jackson Gutierrez's hand warmer and tried to pull him down by that. They weren't able to get him down.
By any means necessary.
Yeah. A couple nice runs on this possession. Obviously has some fresh legs. Woodson had a bunch of carries, 23 carries. You can see, had a hold of that, couldn't get him to the ground.
So we'll see what the sophomore from San Antonio can do here. Ran the ball 5 times for 20 yards in 1 game last year as a freshman. This time it's going to be Chapman trying to get to the edge, and he gets dumped. Jaiden Ausberry.
Jaiden Ausberry's had a really good game. He played well against this offense last year. Does a good job. Watch him maintain leverage, which means keeps his outside arm free. Takes on the block with his inside arm, keeps his outside arm free, and is still able to kind of come off and make the tackle. That's just very well done fundamentally by Ausberry.
That is the 5th tackle for loss for this Notre Dame defense tonight. 2 of them coming from the linebacker Ausberry. Always shows off that great speed off the ball. Closes in to make a play at any point in the game as Gutierrez follows his blocker and then gets spun back by Onye. Remember, this is a Notre Dame defensive front that's playing without Donovan Heinisch, who is in concussion protocol. Gabriel Rubio is still out, trying to work his way back in there. And they've rotated those interior defensive linemen. The captain, Heinisch, means so much emotionally. Rubio, a senior from St. Louis. We've seen Onye, Jared Dawson has rotated. Elijah Hughes has gotten more snaps over the course of the last couple weeks. And then they brought a couple of others in, like Armel Mukum. 6'3", 305-pound sophomore, number 88, right up the middle here. First career pass attempt is knocked away by Kingston Villiamuasa as Gutierrez was going to Theo Elwell, the tight end.
Really nice job in man coverage. Watch Villiamuasa breaks down in his stance, breaks on the football, gets a hand on it. Well played. He was a guy, I mean, I was like, I thought we were talking to Clark Kent. He was so quiet, so soft-spoken, and yet you flip the film on and watch him play. He plays with such violence and speed and collisions, and I was like, yeah, he is definitely Clark Kent off the field.
Now you can get in that phone booth at any time. And this one, a near block for the Notre Dame attack. Will get a bounce right at the 10 and be down at the 6. Meanwhile, Notre Dame is going to go into their depth chart. Kenny Minchie in there, who battled all through camp with C.J. Carr for the starting position. Marcus Freeman has said he has been such a godsend with how he's handled himself after losing that starting role. It's been a big reason why C.J. has given the space to flourish as much as he has, as the first handoff will go for half a yard. Jeremiyah Love picks up half a yard. Minchie, 7 games played over the last 3 years combined. His lone touchdown came against Purdue last season. C.J. Carr's night done, 13 of 16, 218 yards, and 3 touchdowns He led the offense to touchdowns on 6 of their 8 drives, one of them being just kneeling it down at the end of the first half.
Pretty efficient.
Not bad. It's Love. Spin cycle gets to the 10-yard line. And he'll make it 3rd down and 7. We'll see what Mike Denbrock goes to here, as he's already starting to get the extended action for some of the guys that don't necessarily get the high snap count on a general basis. Aeneas Williams just checked into the game for the first time in the backfield. I saw Aeneas Williams at times last year in his freshman season have some impressive plays, especially as a pass catcher out of the backfield. Washington had the previous touchdown. They sent him in motion on 3rd down and 7. Minchie feels it, steps up, he can run. And Minchie's going to have the first down across the 20, slides down just shy of the 25. That'll likely end this 3rd quarter. A 14-yard scamper for the backup quarterback, Kenny Minchie. 42-10. Notre Dame puts up 3 touchdowns in that 3rd quarter to extend to a 32-point lead. You're watching Notre Dame football on NBC, presented by Discover. 42-10 after 3. You don't necessarily talk about style points often in college football, but these moments do matter for a team like Notre Dame. You have those 2 losses early this season. You get ranked 10th in the first college football playoff ranking. A 3rd quarter like that goes a long way for the committee.
Very impressive coming out of the locker room. And look, we talked about it. Their offense with C.J. Carr continues to get better. His night is done. He had 3 touchdown passes, only 3 incompletions on the night. Defensively, you know, there's a big story this week that defensive coordinators at Notre Dame, the first time they faced Navy, they struggle. This is Chris Ash's first time at it. So far, they've held Navy to under 200 yards of offense through the first 3 quarters. So I know Blake Horvath didn't play, but another impressive performance by the Notre Dame defense.
And that really is the story for Navy in this game. Blake Horvath gets pulled from this game an hour before kickoff. He makes a huge difference, and the 2 quarterbacks we've seen have had some moments as well, but you feel like you get this guy back in the lineup, and a lot changes for the midshipmen down the stretch in some big games coming up, as we've talked about.
Yeah, I mean, he is literally one of the most dynamic playmaking players in all of college football. He just does it from the quarterback position as a dual threat guy, more of a runner than a thrower, and they will be happy to get him back in the lineup for sure.
Start the 4th quarter. It's a first down from the 23, and Aeneas Williams gets piled up after a pickup of just 1. Another opportunity for Notre Dame now to get some quality reps for some of these extended depth chart members, and we've seen at times guys like Aeneas Williams and Kenny Minchie and others get opportunity, and you hear coaches talk about it all the time. There's nothing quite like live reps as a teacher.
Well, you've got a lot of new skill guys in, but it's the same starting 5 offensive line out there for the Irish, so Minchie has that going for him.
You can see that it is that wintry mix. We just saw some snowflakes on Marcus Freeman's hat as Williams explodes and continues to turn the legs all the way to the 39-yard line, 16 yards.
Well, this is a nice job by Ty Washington, number 7, kind of lead blocking. It's a zone with a lead. Cawley tries to jump outside the block, and a nice hard-nosed run right up the gut by Aeneas Williams. Aeneas Williams saying, "Give me a piece of that apple pie."
Right. Did you have some of that apple pie? It looked like they had some out there. Oh, all right.
I had pot pie, not apple pie.
Oh, sorry, chicken pot pie. If that also looked good. Williams will get it across the 40 to the 41-yard line. So go back to what Marcus Freeman talked about last week. The 2 main things. One of it was complementary football. It's got to be good, and we've seen that tonight. Defense, especially in this second half, has been excellent. Offense has paid it off with touchdowns, 3 of them in that 3rd quarter. And then the other thing is the human nature. You have to fight that human nature of we are not just better than our opponent. Respect each opponent the same way, approach it the same way.
Well, and you know what? He talked about there are difficult challenges and hard tests ahead. Next week is going to be a hard test for this Notre Dame team because they play a ranked Pittsburgh team that only has 2 losses. It has the week off this week. Well, that'll be a pretty lively environment at Acrisure Stadium in Pittsburgh next week as the Pitt Panthers welcome the Irish.
Always well coached, always going to be a tough out, regardless of what their season looks like, and the season has been highly successful so far. CJ Carr, the word comfortable probably gets overused to a certain degree, but makes so much sense for him right now. Each week there's a comfort level, and even just, we sat down with him ahead of the second game of the season against Texas A&M, and then sat down again before USC. You could feel a comfort level, even just how he carried himself within the building as well.
And it's hard to believe when you watch him play and just the way he conducts himself and relates to his teammates and carries himself. The guy's 20 years old. Right? It's just hard to imagine that. And he really has only started this number of games, 8 games. This is his 9th start of his career.
So right now with a 4th down upcoming, it looks like the offense is going to stay out there, being orchestrated by Kenny Minchie. It's a 4th and 3. Aeneas Williams has been the back. Notre Dame 1 for 1 on 4th down so far tonight. In the rush, they run it. Williams, breakaway. Aeneas all the way. 54-yard touchdown on 4th down.
Aeneas Williams was so quick he almost ran past the quarterback. Minchie barely got him the handoff, and it was like he was shot out of a cannon. It's a great block by Gerby Lambert, the freshman starting at right guard. Watch Lambert with the block right here, but watch how quickly Aeneas Williams shoots through this hole. Almost doesn't get the handoff, and then it is off to the goal line.
So Williams, 5 carries, 72 yards, and the long touchdown sets up the Schmidt extra point. 49-10. It has been all Irish all the time in this second half. Love had the 48-yard touchdown in the 3rd. Now Aeneas Williams pays it off from 54 yards out. Yeah, it's snowing at this point. It's not even rain anymore. It is just straight snow. And is that, it's like Guy Fieri's nephew. It's not actually, but Flavortown has arrived in South Bend. He's into it.
Yeah, he's been into it.
He has. We saw him pregame. He was fired up early. As this one will bounce into the end zone with 11:27 left in this 4th quarter. You just talk about this Notre Dame season. Of course, the preseason ranking at number 6 for good measure after getting to the College Football Playoff National Championship game, but the back-to-back losses to start to 2 very good teams by a combined 4 points. Since then, 6 straight wins. Enter this week number 10 in the first College Football Playoff ranking. And you mentioned that Pitt game, a 7-2 team, ranked 24th in that first ranking as well. We'll see based on who won and lost what they get ranked this Tuesday if they move up maybe a couple spots after being idle. But that's a legit challenge for Marcus Freeman's team. They're going to have to be ready to go on the road. Raucous environment, tough team, well coached, and get another victory. It is all in their control at this point, seemingly, after that first ranking. But again, just because they did it last year doesn't mean it automatically happens this year.
Yeah, that one more note about that Pitt team, and they are always a physical football team. They play a physical style. Pat Narduzzi is a defensive-minded coach, very much like Marcus Freeman. Grew up as a defensive coordinator, and that will be a physical affair next week. The thing about this Notre Dame team this year, though, their offense is more dynamic, more explosive in the passing game than they were a year ago.
Gutierrez gets a couple blocks, and he gets to the edge just shy of the 40-yard line.
One thing you know about Navy, they don't care about the scoreboard at this point. They will play every play like it's the first play of the game. There is no quit in any of these guys. If you've ever done a Navy, Army, or Air Force game, it's the same MO. I mean, they just play till there is no time to play left.
Midshipmen are still very much here in South Bend. And that goes to that 1-0 mentality that Brian Newberry has instilled in his team. That's not just a week-by-week thing in terms of the games that they're playing. It's a play-by-play mentality that he has instilled in his players. As Listorti will take that for 9 yards. He just said it's about being where your feet are, and that doesn't have to just apply to football. It doesn't have to be every play. He said that could be test scores, that could be how you have relationships with other people outside of the football field in the classroom.
Right.
The 1-0 mentality goes all the way through life.
Well, and as we talked about before the game, you know, we recognize and appreciate, completely respect the rigors that these guys go through every day of their lives at the Naval Academy. And we were talking about before the game, the chance to come here and play a night game at Notre Dame against a highly ranked team. I mean, that's like vacation for them. You know, that's a big deal for these guys to be able to come here and have that opportunity to play. Brian Newberry says that's part of even what they use in their recruiting pitch. You know, you get to play Notre Dame every year. You get to go to play in South Bend. And it's a big deal.
You mentioned defensive guys becoming head coaches. The same could be said about Brian Newberry. You asked him about his path and his journey to get to this point. He told us a great story about getting just to Navy in general. He was at Kennesaw State, helped to establish that football program in general. That wasn't even a program that existed, and Brian Bohannon took it over, started it from the ground up. They were literally, their offices were on the second floor of a bank.
Yep.
That's where their football offices were. And a couple of years into it, 2 years before he got the defensive coordinator job at Notre Dame, or excuse me, at Navy, the Naval Academy, he and his wife were going on a trip to see her father, and the midway point was about Annapolis, and she had grown up boating in that area, and so decided, let's go stop over there, let's just take a night, spend the night. So they get a hotel right across from the academy, and you can see it. And the two of them start talking and saying, man, this would be a pretty special place to be able to work every single day. 2 years later, he gets a call out of nowhere from Ken Niumatalolo asking if he would join his staff, become the defensive coordinator at the Naval Academy. And then a couple of years after that, when Naval Academy parts ways with Ken Niumatalolo, he was the next in line. He never expected to become a head coach. He never dreamed of being a head coach, but he said there is no other job in the country that he would prefer because of the quality of young men that he gets to coach every day.
Yeah, it's pretty cool to see that kind of payoff for a guy who started out, you know, coaching at every little level, was a GA, was painting locker rooms, cleaning bathrooms, mowing grass, doing everything he could just to be a part of the staff. And then to now be the head coach at the Naval Academy, pretty special.
Gutierrez.
Flag down.
And he will roll out, keep his footing, and for the time being, it would be a first down run of 11 yards to the 40-yard line. We'll wait for the penalty.
11 yards, good for a midshipman first down. Marvell Fuka on the tackle.
Illegal shift, offense. Two players moving, did not reset prior to the snap. 5-yard penalty, replay third down.
So you saw Chapman move in terms of the actual shift, but the tight end looked like on the near side of the line. Wasn't 100% set before the snap. So we'll make it third down and 15. You brought up all the jobs and different places that Newberry coached. He said it gave him a greater appreciation and also helped him to relate to everybody on the coaching staff. Third down and 15, midway through the fourth quarter. It is a handoff, and Listorti gets it across midfield to the 49-yard line.
Well, it looks like Navy's going to punt the football. Obviously, the game out of reach, and Brian Newberry conceding that.
So it'll be the 6th punt of the night for Jacob Carlson. And Aeneas Williams, who just had the long touchdown run, will now have a chance to return this kick, standing back at his own 10. And almost looked like a fake. They were looking potentially to see if they could catch him off guard. And then this one's going to sail into the end zone. 49 yards. We'll bring it back out to the 20. No more C.J. Carr with Notre Dame in complete control at home. A 49-10 advantage for number 10 Notre Dame over 7-1 Navy as we check in with Catherine Tappan.
Well, you guys were talking a lot about Marcus Freeman, and I think throughout the night you've seen a number of starters out there for the Irish on the kickoff. Drake Bowen told me Coach Freeman has set a standard that starters are going to contribute on special teams. He said that's something we take pride in. They want us to be able to do everything. Marcus also challenges his wide receivers to practice run blocking by offering them a reward at the end of the season. Jordan Faison said it's something we have a lot of fun with, but we're also trying to be very serious and intentional about in springing those long runs and getting our backs an opportunity. And he's also praising the Marauders this week, the scout team that gave them great looks at the triple option. And it's just a great example of Marcus Freeman having the pulse on this team and being a player's coach, and probably a big reason why these guys are buying into everything he's teaching them, guys.
Yeah, you know what, we asked him because he said the scout team was his baby this week in particular. This matchup with the triple option felt like it was so much fun for him to go out there, and it made him feel like he was back in the weeds again as a true ball coach, so to speak, as Jabron Payne is in the game. Ran it for 3 yards on his first carry and then gets it across the 25 on a second. He mentioned special teams as being his other mainstay through the season. That first year or two, he felt like he just needed to get a grasp on being a head coach. Then he could figure out where his niche would be, where he could still be a ball coach. Right. And having both of them was really important to him.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Marcus Freeman's never going to be a CEO kind of coach. I mean, he's a ball coach. He wants to be in there, being involved in whichever way he can. But at the same time, he wants to empower his staff and his coordinators. And I think he's done a really good job of doing that.
He's made that clear. When I'm more invested, they're more invested. But the thing that still brings him the greatest joy is coaching ball, which is what he said he has to find ways of doing. This job is finding joy within it. As that one goes to the outside, a wide open grab was made by Bettis, Jerome Bettis Jr. First down catch of 6 yards.
You know, it's funny, Marcus talked this week about facing Navy and dealing with this option, this offense, and the very first time he faced it as defensive coordinator at Cincinnati, 2017, they gave up 569 yards rushing and 5 touchdowns to the midshipmen. He was much better the next year in 2018 when they played him. Held him only to 128 yards rushing.
Payne, tough running, gets it to the 38-yard line. It was funny because during the press conference, somebody asked, you know, how'd you have so much success your first time when you played this Navy team as a defensive coordinator at Notre Dame? And he goes, no. I didn't have any success my first time as a defensive play caller. And he mentioned that game with Cincinnati where Navy just ran all over. But it was a huge just step forward for him as a coach, as a play caller, and then also a reminder where he went back in his own path and brought it up to somebody like Chris Ash, who for the first time is going against this naval attack. And Navy, despite having some positive momentum through that first half, just had nothing in this second half. Third quarter was dominated by Notre Dame. A continuation into the fourth as Minchie floats it up. It's caught. Jack Larson brings it in. Nice play by Kenny Minchie.
Yeah, really nice job by Minchie. This is great pressure by Navy. They flush him out to his left. Able to get his shoulders turned around and make an accurate throw down the field to his tight end.
So we've seen Eli Raridan have a huge year, although he hasn't done anything tonight in terms of catching passes from C.J. Carr or others. Ty Washington has a touchdown, his first with Notre Dame. And now Jack Larson has a catch. Cooper Flanagan, who had made an appearance fully dressed a couple weeks ago, still trying to work himself back to 100% health, but we know how capable he is, as Jabron Payne will bring this for 13 yards. The tight end room deep. The receiving room, they've been playing this Notre Dame offense without Jaden Greathouse for the last month plus, who was their #1 receiver down the stretch last season. And Faison and Pauling and Fields have all stepped up in their respective parts. And then we've seen KK Smith have moments. Obviously, the running backs have been outstanding all year, and Carr just keeps getting better and better.
Well, I think what the receivers are realizing with C.J. Carr is that if you run your route and get open, he will find you with the football. I mean, he is an equal opportunity quarterback.
Payne had nowhere to run that time. Blazard came in to make the tackle, and it loses a yard. It'll likely take us to the 2-minute timeout. 49-10. The number 10 team in the country, looking every bit the part. Brian Newberry's team, following their first loss last week at North Texas, is going to fall to 7-2 after the final 2 minutes here from Notre Dame Stadium. 98th meeting between these two teams. Notre Dame has won 7 in a row, on the way to 8 at home. Two minutes to play from South Bend. Notre Dame looking to run this one out and cruise to their 7th consecutive win. It's Payne delivering some pain. Gets across the 25.
You know, one more note about Blake Horvath. Again, it was such a bummer we didn't get to see him play. Hopefully he can come and finish the rest of the season for Navy. But he is also up for the Campbell Award, which is the Academic Heisman Award. Really prestigious thing that's given in New York City, well, actually in Las Vegas now. But Navy has never had a winner of the Campbell Trophy, which I find that almost hard to believe. And maybe Blake Horvath will be the first Navy midshipman to take home that honor.
When you talk to any of his coaches, they talk about his leadership. Obviously, his play has been off the charts for this team, but to your point, his academics had a 4-0 the last couple of semesters as Payne just drops that one right in his hands.
Yeah, that would have been a touchdown. That would have taken the point total over the 50 mark. We do have a conversation. There is a flag down on the 35-yard line.
It's hard to see it almost through the snow. So, Kevin Randall, what do you got for us?
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense. Penalties half the distance from the goal, automatic first down.
So that'll keep this drive alive and allow for Notre Dame to take it all the way down. Not a ton from Jackson Campbell.
We don't need that at this point. Let's keep that one in the pocket. I wouldn't be shocked to see if Marcus Freeman just even takes a knee here, honestly. I think out of his respect for Brian Newberry, for the Navy football program, he doesn't have any need to score any more points.
And that's exactly what Kenny Minchie will do.
They have to do it one more time.
Jeremiyah Love, 94 yards on the ground, 27 through the air. CJ Carr, 3 incompletions, 3 touchdown passes. Kenny Minchie comes in, goes 3 for 3 with 35 yards. And this Notre Dame attack, complimentary football, they did everything right in the second half. And
they didn't miss a kick, which might be the thing that makes Marcus Freeman happiest tonight when he gets in the locker room.
Final kneel down from Minchie. Notre Dame wins their 7th consecutive game, 49-10 in a dominant second half against Navy. A lot of mutual respect. Marcus Freeman, Brian Newberry. Jeremiyah Love continues his Heisman candidacy. CJ Carr continues to showcase his comfort level. And without Blake Horvath, Navy just did not quite have enough after the half. Catherine Tappan with a winning coach.
Coach, just an incredible performance from your group, but in particular in the second half. What do you think they did differently and more effectively in that second half?
I think it's what you asked me before we went at halftime. Are we playing complimentary football? And there was times we were in the first half, but in the second half there was good followed by good, followed by good, followed by good. And that's how you get the score you get. But it's still it's the mindset of we got to keep winning this play. They handled some elements. They had some good checks. They settled in defensively, and proud of them.
CJ Carr also demonstrated another level that he has tonight, especially as you mentioned in these conditions. But what can you say about his performance tonight?
He's special. He's a special football player, and we're grateful that he's leading our offense, and he's got to keep getting better, just like we all do. But we're in good hands with him at quarterback.
Coach, thanks so much for your time.
All right, thank you.
So, as is tradition between these two schools, these two incredible programs, they will stay for one another's alma mater. You've got Navy, and then they'll walk down the field and stay for the Notre Dame side of things. Pretty special moment for one of the great rivalries in college football. beat Army comes to the end of the season for this Navy midshipman team after their second straight loss, but big things ahead and still a lot in their control.
Yeah, I mean, they still have a shot in the American Conference. And when it comes to that game at Army, a chance to go back-to-back commander-in-chief, what they have not done since, I think, 2012 and 13. So it's all out there for them.
Feels the same for Notre Dame. Everything is in their grasp if they can keep playing the way they're playing. Ascending team. You said that in the beginning of the broadcast. They showed it again tonight.
Absolutely. I mean, they are playing at a very high level on both sides of the ball right now.
Well, on the 50th anniversary of Rudy's sack, with Rudy in the building, it's only right that Notre Dame puts together one of its most complete performances of the season. 49-10, the final from South Bend. We've got Ahmed and the gang on the other side. Back in the studio next.